Start.
Hello everyone, this is Raghav. Today I'm here to discuss about virtual private network. Before getting into the topic, let me have a glance on our title. That is setting up a virtual private network. What does this mean? And we have been hearing this term called VPN, and this is what virtual private network. The abbreviation of VPN is virtual private network. No, just go back to the previous slide. I just want to concentrate more on about the title. So before getting to the topic, let me have a glance about the title. Virtual private network. So we have three important terms to discuss here. Network. What does network mean? Network is something which connects to devices or to systems, and it establishes a connection between the two devices or systems. And what does this virtual means? And we have been hearing this term a lot during this COVID situation, and that's like we don't be in the physical connection with one another, but we're still able to communicate and able to talk to the persons through online. This is called virtual mean. And what are this private pin, which is one of the key terms before getting into the topic. Virtual private network is simple as sharing the information between two networks, so that in which the information which is shared is highly confidential and it is not seen by any other people who is outside of the connection. Like when we want to establish a connection between two individuals who just wants to communicate between only both of them, they make an agreement that the information should be hidden only between two of us, and it should not be it should not be leaked either by you or by me, or no one has to come in between us to get the information. This is what virtual private network mean. Like two connections. Let me have a instance for this. Like for a corporate company, which is a American-based company or Britain-based company, they have to what do the individuals do here and how do they work according to the company mean. They will be establishing a connection with the American network. Like even though they are not in the office, they could able to establish the connection. They could be able to establish the connection just staying out of their office. Like having the network they have to connect to, and they can be able to connect to. Now before let me get into the topic so that you can have a great explanation of this. Come to the next slide. Generally, what is this internet flow? Before getting into the topic, let us see how this flow of internet happens. See, we have an internet service provider which is connected to a router, and which will be having a particular IP address, and the particular IP address it will be used is connected to the web server, and the system we have been using, or the persons in the office using, will be having a private IP address. So the private IP address, and they will be connected to the web server. So coming to the next slide. And how does this change with the using of VPN? Here we can say something called the VPN server, and here is a web server. So when we need to establish a connection between two networks of two devices, and to make sure the information is put so secret or confidential information, what do you call it in the technical terms of this network, the information shared is called as traffic. The traffic has to be kept so private, so we'll be using this VPN. And as showed here, we can see that we can have a lock symbol like this, which means the information is logged, that is not shared anyway out of the network. See here we can see the symbol lock, and which will be having a private address. And coming to the next slide, and users of VPN, we have many users of VPN. Let me concentrate on the important users of VPN. Hides personal IP address. As I mentioned, not just the traffic, even the IP address of the person who is using the system will be hidden. Enable us to connect remotely to private networks. Here is an important use of VPN that we have to stress and have a, what do you call this? we have to have a clean discussion about this second point. Enables us to connect remotely to private networks. What does this? How does VPN helps to connect remotely to private networks? A VPN extends a corporate network through encrypted connections made over the internet. Because the traffic is encrypted between the device and the network, traffic remains private as it travels. An employee can work outside the office and still securely connect to the corporate network using the smartphones or tablets that can connect through a VPN. And this is how VPN works. And why it is mainly used. No. Please come back to the previous slide. It changes the geographical locations. Like as I mentioned earlier, a person who is working in our country and who is working for an American-based company, his geographical location gets changed when he works when he gets connected to the VPN of the American company, and it provides security. As I mentioned earlier, the traffic and the virtual network is sent securely by establishing an encrypted connection across the internet known as tunnel. VPN traffic from a device such as computer, tablet, or smartphone is encrypted as it travels through this tunnel. Offsite employee can then use the virtual network to access the corporate network. So in this manner, it provides a proper security for our information, or we call it in the technical terms called as traffic. So as I mentioned earlier, the fifth point is access outside the country bounds. We can even access the networks in the other countries too. Come back to, change to the next slide. See, this is what the second point mentioned is enables us to connect remotely to the private network. It is very secure. Connecting to remotely to the private is very secure. Like, let me have brief explanation upon this. Secure remote access provides a safe, secure way to connect users and devices remotely to a corporate network. It includes VPN technology that uses strong ways to authenticate the user or device. VPN technology is available to check whether a device meets certain requirements, also called a device exposure, before it is allowed to connect remotely. So what does this mean? Before connecting to the network, the system checks whether the system has the ability to connect to the particular network or not. And it has whether the VPN technology has strong authenticated the user or device. VPN technology is also available to check whether the device meets certain requirements, which is called as a device posture. So before getting connected to the network, all these things happen. Only after this, the connection establishes with the network and the information is shared. Coming to the next slide. And comparing with VPN with cloud. Even cloud is something bit related to with VPN, and we do have differences of VPN and cloud. Cloud service, we will be seeing some pros of cloud servers and cons of cloud servers, and on the other side we'll be using the on-premise service called VPN, which will be having some pros and cons. We'll be having a quick detailed explanation about this. Like let me say the pros of cloud servers. Like we'll be having no capital expense, only pay for what you need, easy to scale up or down as company grows and adjusts, data backed up regularly and consistent uptimes. And we do have some negative points of cloud servers, like service contract can become expensive. Third party is involved in case of cloud servers, so we have to pay for the third party, and maybe complicated configuration for granular access control, and must be very aware of third party security based on how vendor handles data. And the other side, we will be having on-premises service, and let us see the advantages of on-premises service. Like we'll be having low upfront cost for small business, critical data stored on-site, easy to grant access to on-premises data, low monthly or annual cost for licenses. And let us see the negative points of that. Your network bandwidth determines VPN bandwidth, no uptime guarantees, requires hardware infrastructure and IT support. What is this important point is? It requires hardware and infrastructure and IT support. So without this particular infrastructure, which is highly required for this VPN and a great IT support, it will be not so successful and it will lead to damages. Coming to the next slide. Setting up VPN in Microsoft Azure. So that's what our topic or project is about. And open VPN for corporate cloud support to AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and DigitalOcean. All these systems have been using this open VPN. Next slide. And we'll be having different types of VPNs like remote access VPN, site to site VPN, and that's what is more project is all about. Thank you. Hello.